Welcome in 365 Sports. Josh Neighbors moved his time up for me today. College Countdown, the host of that show, and you should go and subscribe and like it after his workout, and from a different locale. So if people are concerned that something's happened to Josh and he had to like run into a stranger's house and still do the interview, that didn't happen. It's just
I'm on the floor. I'm on the floor.
He did a favor for me, and so which I certainly appreciate because we have some stuff today. So, Josh, this is I know like last week I heard people saying like, oh, maybe this weekend isn't very good. I think it's great when you've got Texas Tech and Utah and Auburn and Oklahoma and the Iron Skillet, Baylor and Arizona State. Like this is chock full of some really, really good games. And then there's, some other things going on, coaching circle wise that become important. Miami and Florida play this week. And that could very likely be the last game that Billy Napier is the coach, if it's as bad as it could be. And that would kick off the coaching cycle in a crazy way. So let's start talking about the coaching cycle. Then we'll get into games this week. But I've asked this of a couple guests this week, and I'm kind of taking a survey. If you were, and it's different answers. Cost of living is not an option. Like it's not a thing in this. Salary is the same. The power is the same. Like the everything you're going to get everything you want at either school. Would you rather be coaching in Blacksburg or in Los Angeles?
This is like this is totally personal preference because,
Yes.
I'll tell you what, the support of Virginia Tech is there. As somebody who grew up in that area, I know it pretty well. It is there. I know some folks around, not in the program, but like who are around the program. I mean, I've been going to games my entire life. My grandparents were season ticket holders 43 years. My first game was a Virginia Tech game. There was a point, and I don't really know when it was in Whit Babcock's tenure, where like some people were just like he just wouldn't really listen. Like he wasn't listening enough to other people. And I think Virginia Tech is suffering somewhat from what Nebraska suffered from. I mean, there's better athletes in the Virginia area, but just like everybody's on TV now, and like their brand wasn't as good. And they started losing to teams. Like it's just Virginia Tech's not what it meant growing up. You know how it's a game day wasn't the same. Like game day's not the same because they weren't going to they didn't go to Virginia Tech games. Like it's kind of like they just like those two things. It's like I remember on Thursday nights Matt Ryan in Boston College top 5 facing off against Virginia Tech. Like we used to have proper Thursday night games.
Yeah.
It's fallen off. And UCLA, they just don't care though. So like the people care more at Tech because there's just more to do at UCLA. Like, and it's a basketball school first. Now you're in the Big Ten and it's Los Angeles, so like there is that advantage. But I mean, if you want a fan base that can be invested, and it's not like Tech's not like broke. Like Tech is not a school where it's just like they don't have wealthy donors. They do. So I would say Virginia Tech. Like I just because I think they care more. I think there's more. Like there's a lot to do in LA. But like this, I mean, this is beach versus mountains. It's redneck versus. I mean, my dad's from the area, so it's a bit more. It's conservative, and then obviously Los Angeles is a lot more liberal. Like it really is a lifestyle thing.
It
But
is.
I mean, as somebody who's I was born on the West Coast, I actually and is a bit more left to center. Like I would say that I would still like Tech. Like even despite my politics, whatever, the people care more, and football's football, and so I think it's a better opportunity.
Yeah, that's. Look, I'm more left to center, like you are. Politically, I'm also not like dyed to the wool anything. So like,
yeah, no, me too. I mean, all my best friends are Republicans, so it's like,
yeah. So it's like it is what it is. But I just want to go to a place where I know that like if I work hard, that the people in charge are going to get excited and care. And I don't think that any of the last maybe 5 to 6 UCLA coaches have that. I don't think they care. Look, they play in the Rose Bowl, which is an hour drive in traffic.
A disaster. The Pasadena is a disaster getting to. Yeah.
Pasadena and Bel Air are close in that they're both in the greater Los Angeles area. Like that's it. But if you just take any, like if you live in a big city and you haven't been to LA, think of it like oh, well, this is close. Like your friend comes and says, hey, we're staying here. Can you come and see us? We're visiting town. And it's an hour away. And you're like, well, I mean, we'll come and see you. But like when you get in the car, you're going to be like, crap.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
like,
God, what have I done?
I wish they would like, could they have stayed closer? I don't care that their Airbnb is by the water. You know, like
Doesn't matter to me at all.
Those kind of things. Like,
totally.
So you just, that's how it is. And so if you're talking about filling that stadium up, which is one of the biggest stadiums in the country. If you're talking about filling that up, 7 to 8 Saturdays a year that aren't the Rose Bowl, that's hard anyway. That's hard anyway.
Paul, do you have any like good UCLA football memories? Like I mean
here's the one.
Am I missing something? I'm trying to think. I don't have any.
This is just because I am 45 and a Cowboys fan. I remember Troy Aikman's Cotton Bowl win. And at that time, the Cowboys had the number 1 pick. Jerry was in attendance at the game, and it was pretty clear. Like they were talking about it. What I remember it is they're like, he will likely be the Cowboys quarterback. I think it was Vern Lundquist on the game. He was like, Jerry Jones is here. Troy Aikman is the quarterback. He is probably playing in Dallas. Like he's going to be their quarterback more than likely. And that's what I remember about that. And
who's the last like really good UCLA football player? Like,
DTR.
Yeah, I was going to say DTR. I mean, I remember Anthony Barr was. I think with Anthony Barr.
Yeah.
He was really good. Miles Jack, I think.
Latu from last year. But like as far as somebody who's made this, like Maurice Jones-Drew, that people know, like that's what it is. They don't have the history because they just don't care as much. And to me, that's what I'd be like, like. And look, now it's not only like you have to take care of me and my coaches. I need money to go get players. And if you're spending less, then like you've got to at least match USC. Like if we want to be competitive, all you need to do is just match, like, what is their budget? Get me as close as you can. But they're not even trying to do that. And that's why it would, like, Virginia Tech's not sitting there going like, well, okay, well, we're probably not going to outspend Clemson and Florida State and Miami, but we can probably get close. Like we can get close enough to where, we could be competitive because people care enough if you start winning.
Right. I mean, like Tech is close enough to like DC. My hair's going crazy right now. Tech's close enough to DC. Yeah, that workout area. Oh my God, we're losing our minds here, guys. Tech's close enough to DC to where like that's good, but like I mean, it's not really a like it's kind of its own thing. Also, my brother toured UCLA. I remember going there and like. Going to the Rose Bowl was not a priority. Going to Pauley Pavilion was a priority. We got into Pauley Pavilion. It was really, really cool. It was empty. It was really awesome. But, like, nobody wants to go play in the Rose Bowl when it's empty. Like, you want to play in the Rose Bowl. You don't want to play in the Rose Bowl. You know what I mean? Like, you want to play in the game, not the stadium. So, I mean, they don't have a whole lot going for it. I mean, but, like, once again, Eric Musselman wanted to go to USC over Arkansas. And, like, to me, Arkansas is a much better job than USC for basketball because – USC football is higher in the pecking order than USC basketball, and USC football is not what it was in the Los Angeles sports pecking order anymore. So, like, it's all about preference, right? He just wanted to be a West Coast guy, and I'm sure he's much happier in Los Angeles than he was in Fayetteville. So, it's a preference thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Billy Napier could be in the water. The Florida job could be in the water. Billy Napier would be unemployed, and he'd go get an assistant job somewhere and sure be fine if he wanted. And he'll have a nice buyout to wait out. But I don't anticipate seeing him back in Gainesville next season. Just based on what we've seen, like nothing's changed. Like they hit a nice groove when DJ Lagway took over last year, but ultimately, like, the schedule wound up being a little bit easier than it probably was at the beginning. This year, that's flipped on them. The same schedule is now there to eat them alive. That job will set the standard for every other job that comes open. And if it comes open in the next, 2 to 3 weeks, do you think there'll be just a crazy-ass coaching cycle?
Oh, well, also, I want to acknowledge there's two things happening. There's two teams on Florida. There's Florida's offense, there's Florida's defense.
Yeah.
Florida's defense has been nasty. Yeah. They gave up 18 points to USF, and then they gave up
13.
13, right? Because it's pick six. So, I mean, like, and that was that game? That game was on the road, too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, what else do you want, back-to-back weeks? 30, it ends up being, whatever, it's 31 points or whatever total in 2 weeks against ranked teams. So, like that's happening. Their offense is atrocious. Yeah, I guess we're hitting the point now where it's like you're gonna have to go early. It's like early signing day. It's like 99% of the coach, 99% of the guys sign early. Teams are gonna have to start going early because like candidates you might want. These ads have lists. Like I can guarantee you, your Arkansas Hunter, your Tech's got a list. At Virginia Tech, I mean, they had a list before. Who is the Florida AD? Is it Scott Woodward? Who is
Scott
it?
Strickland. Scott Strickland.
Scott Strickland. Yes, it's Scott Woodward. Yeah, Scott Strickland. Although I've heard they might not let him make the next hire. I don't know, whatever's happening. But I mean, they tried to pull Lane and they didn't get Lane. Like teams now have the resources to keep guys like that. So I'd be interested to think what their big thought is. Like, are they gonna go like let's try to get Urban Meyer back? Which I don't think is a good idea. Or do they go like the flip side, which is like the Alex Galesh route, which
Yeah.
or do they try to pull somebody? They go to like maybe Eli Drinkwitz is too much. Like they just have it. Like they go for a Drinkwitz. Who's had who's building sustained success and is playing against them. So, but yeah, I don't know. Is Florida in such a different weight class that it wouldn't impact the Virginia Techs of the world? Like, is it kind of two separate deals happening? Um, I'd be curious to ask that to see how that question gets answered. Because like Florida's going to be hunting for candidates that Tech and UCLA are not hunting for. And I don't know, are any other big time jobs going to open anytime soon? I don't see another big job. I was talking about some of this the other day. Like Hugh Freeze seems relatively safe at the moment at Auburn, and I can't think of any other SEC job. It's like on the ropes.
One thing I think could happen though when you have a big job like Florida is you get big boosters that get trigger happy because they're like, oh no, like they got rid of their guy that they don't like. We only like our guy a little bit more than they hated Billy Napier.
Right.
So let's just go ahead and cut the cord right now and get in this cycle so that they don't get the guy that we want to get. Like that's where a job like Florida throws things off. Now, I think Oklahoma State is probably likely to be open too, because if you like, I think they'll beat Tulsa. But if I black out from this point on, woke up tomorrow morning and you called me and said, "Hey, Paul, Tulsa won the game," I'd be like, "Oh yeah, that tracks."
2 years ago they got beat by South Alabama by like 28 at home. So that was also the team that went to the Big 12 championship game, I believe. So that's a Cook situation. Gundy's done.
I'd be like, "Oh, what did I miss, Josh? What did I miss?"
Yeah,
you'd be like, Tulsa won," and it'd be like, "Oh, well, I guess I slept well."
Yeah.
All right, I was scared until
I got my 8 hours last night. Nice.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, Tech in Utah. One of the diamond games of this week. Big noon kickoff is there. It is a big moment for each team. Potentially a little bigger for Tech because Utah's recently been a conference champion, albeit not in the conference that they're currently in. Tech has not recently been a conference champion. Recent is relative to the whole era of time and space for Texas Tech. They have made these moves. They're announcing themselves in the scene. I don't think if they lose a close game here, it's an indictment on the program. But if they win it, this is finally a point where they can take a big step out and said, yes, we are here. We are beating good teams. And they've shredded the teams early in the season, which they haven't done before, that they can really announce their presence in the Big 12 if they win on Saturday.
Yeah, it would be, significance, not like it's a landmark win. It's a tentpole win. And look, like wins like this are going to come for them. I just think they want them to start coming now because roster building and team construction is a year in, year out deal. Texas has become a powerhouse because they're identifying, they're getting the guys. But this year, I don't know the last 4 defensive tackles they had if they were all recruited by Sark, but I think 3 of them were. These guys, they went transfers on a couple of them and they hit. So you're assessed. They're not Tech's not really doing the assessment thing. I think Tech's also kind of doing a little bit of the A&M. We're trying to achieve a certain recruiting status as well, which I don't think is a bad thing. But if they're not looking as hard at the players to kind of get as many blue chips as possible. But they have a chance now, and but I think the problem here is that I don't like unproven team, unproven coach, unproven quarterback, unproven defense going on the road against proven coach and proven environment. I know it's noon. I know it's 10 a.m. Central Time. I think it'd easily win the game, but it just feels like that. Like it needs to be like you want this game at home as opposed to on the road.
Yeah.
I think they're ready, but I think their defense is better. I can never trust Tech teams. Like I hate the fact that every single year I say I want to see a defense, and I hate it keeps being right because I love their fan base and I want them to be good. But like, damn it, fellas, show me a show me a
Yeah,
defense.
I'm at the same point, and I think their fans are probably a little bit at the same point of like, come on, like like they feel that they can feel it. They just want to see it. I picked Utah in the game just because Utah's at home.
Yeah,
and Rice Eccles is no picnic. So, all right, rapid fire, real quick. Just give me your pick: Iron Skillet, SMU, or TCU?
TCU.
Okay. Nebraska or Michigan?
Michigan.
Okay, I picked Nebraska in that one. Let's see.
That would be the biggest win of what's his face's of Matt Rule's tenure, don't you think?
Yeah, it would be the biggest win of his career.
Yeah,
biggest win of his career by far. Anywhere he's been. South Carolina and your alma mater.
Oh, MIC, brother.
Yeah, Lenore Sell is likely to play. Illinois and Indiana.
I don't know. Indiana.
Arizona State and Baylor, last one.
Baylor.
Okay. I picked Arizona. Look, and maybe it's just because I'm close to it. I picked Arizona State. Baylor's defense has to prove to me that they can stop a running back.
They suck. But, you know, like, I tell you what.
Sawyer Robertson, buddy.
That's probably your number one pick right there. Like, that kid is – talk about, like, income. It's like watching a golfer. It's like Scotty Scheffler when he's at his best. Sawyer Robertson is in command of everything has slowed down for him. It's totally moving at a slow pace, and he's just a super.
So I want to say it would have been 2 years ago, Garrett, 2 or 3 springs ago, when he first got here.
Yeah, it was 2 years ago.
2 years ago when he first got here in spring football. Blake Shapen was still here, and I knew that Blake Shapen was going to wind up being the starter because you could tell out there that he just had a command of the system far better than Sawyer did. And I mean, that was obvious. And so you knew he was going to wait a year. But I did know, I knew at the moment, I said, if this kid is healthy and ready to go at any point, he's not giving up the job. And that's finally what happened last year because he went through 2 years of ankle injuries and a shoulder deal that really slowed him down. I think it was a shoulder or something like that. But now that he is healthy and in control,
this happens a lot.
Gary, you remember that spring game? It was It was like you're watching it and you're like, okay, well, Blake Shapen's fine and all, but the
different.
Ball,
he's got more talent and he had the same level of command. You know what I mean?
It was just he was like, I've just been here for 3 weeks.
Yeah, we talked to a D2 coach last week who told us about the Ole Miss backup Trinidad Chambliss. He's the best player they played against, and he's a national championship winning coach. And he said, everybody, if that kid gets a job, he said he ain't giving it back. And he went out there and threw for 350 yards in his first game. It looked like he was just in command, in control. And guys get old and they're like, I've been playing these games for too long to not be in control.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's time I grab the car keys.
And he's starting again this week because Austin Simmons isn't back. So there we go. All right, Josh Neighbors, College Countdown Podcast. Love you, buddy.
See you guys.
All right, that's Josh Neighbors. We've got more coming up. This is 365 Sports.